Okay, in this problem, we're asked to find the annual percentage yield, the APY. Now, the APY, don't be upset with that. That's just the same thing as relative increase. You know, we've just completed absolute increase and relative increase. And for relative change, I'm going to just jot it down up here. Relative increase. We have like a little formula we're going to use, and I'm abbreviating quite a bit. Relative increase is the new value, whatever it happens to be. We're going to subtract the original. That's the absolute increase. And then we're going to take that answer and divide it by the original. Okay, so this is what we're going to come back to. That's the same thing as getting the APY in this situation. Okay, so the bank offers an annual percentage rate of 4.5% compounded daily, and we're asked to find the annual percentage yield. Well, our compounded formula is the amount that will be in the account is equal to the principal times 1 plus the annual percentage rate. I'm just going to put R over the number of times compounded in a year, and all that's raised to the number of times compounded in a year times the number of years. Okay, all that's an exponent. So for this, they didn't tell us how much, and it really doesn't matter how much. You could use $1, $10, $1,000. I think your textbook uses 1,000, but since I'm working with percents, I'm going to say my principal, I'm going to just choose the number 100. So I'm going to replace the principal with 100, and this is 1 plus the rate. The annual percentage rate is 0.045. Remember, we've got to change that percent to a decimal. And the number of times compounded is daily. That's 365 for our denominator, because that's the number of days in a year. We're going to raise all of that to the 365 times 1, because this is just for 1 year. And when we plug all that stuff into our calculator, we end up with 104.60. Now, to plug that in the calculator, we're going to lose all of this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down and then show you how to punch it into the calculator if you're having trouble with that part. So to find the APY, it's just the next step. We're going to use this relative increase formula, and we're going to say, okay, the new amount that we end up in 1 year is $104.60. We started out with $100. That was our original amount, and we're going to divide by that, the $100. So that gives us 4.60 divided by 100. And that ends up being 0.0460. And then expressing that as a percent, because that's what we're asked to do, to 2 decimal places. So we're going to move this decimal point 2 places to the right, so that becomes 4.60%. I'm just not going to write down the 0. I mean, if it had been a 1 or something like there, you would need to write that down. So 4.6% is our final answer. Now, typing this into the calculator, I'm going to go over here to do that. This 100 times, well, let me just see if I can do it. Now I'm going to need to type it in. So let me take it off of that. And we're taking 100, that was our amount. And we're multiplying it times 1 plus 0.045. That was the numerator, divided by The denominator for that was 365 because it's 365 days in a year. Close our parentheses, and then we want to raise this to, this is our little housetop symbol, which means raised to a power. So we're going to raise it to 365 times 1. And when we enter, this is where I got that amount, 104.60. And then we do our subtraction and divide by 100. I hope this has helped.